Okay. So our next thing we're just gonna try drawing up. Don't worry if you guys haven't finished the last one, keep going. This is just for the people that have already finished and want to continue on to something different. What we have is some more piping.
我的车上已经打了一个交叉。
哦，是吗？有人查是不是？
对，他在他轮子上面打个记号，如果2个小时之后你还在那里，他就给你退钱。
So I've uploaded a new PDF for the online group called Socket Weld 45 Elbow. You go ahead and download that and start practicing on that when you get a chance.
上一次也有人查。
So for everyone else, inside the AutoCAD folder, there's something called Socket Weld 45 Elbow. And we might as well stay with the 3-inch sizing we've already done. Start just drawing this one out. This one should be a little bit easier. Oh. So this one, if you guys aren't done, keep working on it, go ahead. That's no problem. Once you are finished that one, you can try out this one. Go with a 3-inch. Go with a class 3000. That class 3000 3-inch.
主要都是多少？45。45。45度。哦。这个角是45度，它的大角是那一般是多少啊？
不是，它也是45。
以后的这里它会有看它。以后是画的是哪一个
？3。
是几寸的？
什么是
？3寸，是这个是吧？你现在
它写的这个是45度，然后那就是说，其实是这个角是45度。
对，你现在拿笔画完了。
那我这个角应该多少度？我怎么觉得这是45度？这个就是45度。
She's drawn half of it. You're almost done.
Should I read 45?
Yep. This is 45. So
那两个平行
straight up, 45 degrees over, and if you've already drawn half, you should be able to swing it around at 45 degrees, and then you're almost done. Does that make sense? Because so.
这个角是22.5度。
对呀。这样你高度有出来了吗？那你不是不要？
我不用画这个，我直接在这里画。
对呀，再画点这个斜过来。但这个是20，但是这个是22.5度。然后相交跟这条线相交，直接拉过来，要把右了，这样太难画了。对。It's 10 to here. It's 10 to this one.镜像上去，那是先打出来。
先处理。
然后把它镜像上去。这条线，按右键。Yes.
我就画circle。
对呀。
然后再trim掉。
So my question here is this radius, this one or this one? This is the center or this is the center?
You should find the center line of the pipe. Usually you would So that's just the interior of the pipe right now. Yeah, that should be center line.
那时候你不用，有这个一加点，这个好，完全没办法。
这边怎么画？这边距离，这边这个距离知道了，然后怎么画？距离有3的。
那这个不是有第一吗？
就这个管子是这个，内接的，是
哪个距离你不知道？
这个，这块儿
哦，你说那直径是吗？
是3吗？它这个还3，这个1。
还有33。
内接。这3，对，正好是3.5。
应该是3.5吧。3应该是3.5。它这应该是3.5。
是3。应该是，我还是3寸左右。
这个有，对，这个有画出来了。
现在还少更加的。
哪个这个？
叫 C 呀。要看 C。
哪一个？
你刚刚 A 这个是4.7。
是，对呀。
对呀，但是 A 现在买你还是 C 呢。这里。如果你现在想拍这个，那这个就这张就应该可以。
哦。
对，所以这个。
这个是内孔是吧？
对。
这样的话，那我是错了。
这还画两那个键盘。
对。A 是多少 ？A 是4.7。
不然这样就得画两个。
你可以把心里把图画出来。是3.36。
这个画是 C 吗？这个画是3。那实际上应该是它的3。
是两个。
但是这上面要送，所以是晚上3。
还有一个小。
这高度不对。它写的是它的D和E是3的，跟明显也不太对。
1是多少
1和1。
？1是2.5。
这一点儿。
The Phillips.
其实还是画两个键盘好像。
The Phillips too big. What did you use for your Phillips size? Yeah.
The radius, yeah.
It's too big.
Too big.
Yeah. So if you want it smaller.
Okay. 0.25. Still too big.
Actually, wait a minute. When you're trying to go.
Oh, maybe I
It's
can do
fine.
mirror. I can do
这
mirror,
条
right?
线是
It's
对着
actually
这个
just
边，所以你要把这个。
Because the thing is when you're drawing your Phillips,
yeah.
because that's actually two Phillips, right?
What do we
画条吧。
When you're doing this, that's actually two different Phillips.
one
但是这样
here
就得
and
一条
one
线，
here?
还得要找
That's
找
why
一
it's
线的话，
getting confused when you're trying to do one in one shot.
Okay, so let's see if I can do
你这样得画4个
mirror.
3个长纹。
也是。C 多少？
对，其实往长纹它还要这样来。
good. Bless you. How's everyone doing? Does this one make more sense? So the biggest thing is draw the bottom one, then rotate it, and then clean it up. Good work.
How do you draw the angle?
The 45-degree angle?
Yeah.
So what I did first is at the bottom, draw a line 45 degrees out. Then rotate, and then add the other lines as you need. So do the line. There. Turn on your
是不是
photo.
这往下了？是往往下裁的，你从这块做一条延长线，然后交
So
在这
the
个
line
是
should be
这个
10.5 because if you look at the B dimension, the B dimension is 0.5, right? So that's also going to be 2.5 degrees. So if that should be 2.5 degrees. Then tap.
它这个是这样的吗？
And then do you rotate?
So we rotate.
We'll do a copy rotate. So do you rotate?
offset 面是0.268。
哪个？
offset 面积。offset 面积。
Just for shift.
这个图吗？
Just put right there.
感觉这跟那个没有关系。这个是
Type C.
主要那个。
Type R. For the reference angle.
你说 wall thickness 都是 pipe。
And I think of it.
pipe thickness 应该是3.536减3再除
In line with this, this is your reference there, so that it won't be reference that way. So click that one to the bottom there. Click there, to the bottom. And as you swivel, it will follow that reference line that you just drew. So now you can match to that line to where we have. Understand how that works? Yep. So if you draw it right there. So yeah, just click it over here. Yeah. Yep. And then clean up everything. And you're good. So,
肯定不是。我觉得是这样的，就是你从这做可以看不出来，我跟他交代着。
一样的。
and if you want to know what the wall thickness is roughly, this is schedule. Actually, class 3000 should be schedule 180 or schedule 160. So schedule 160 is class 3000. I should grab the wrong schedule from there. Just remember that. It's okay. So I'll schedule 160 at 3" It's 0.43. So it's subtracting from the overall outside. Do you know how to hatch? Rotate
yeah,
hatch. Yeah.
Hatch edit.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not the style. No, the style. The style's fine. There.
Here.
Angle.
Oh, so make it 180.
Uh,
Oh no, 90.
It would be 90. Yeah.
So if I want to like change the intensity, like the density or whatever, make it more.
Like the spacing, that's the
Right.
scale.
Oh yeah. So I still go
Hatch edit.
hatch.
Well, for this one, you've already laid it down.
So hatch edit.
And then the scale, you can increase
Oh,
it.
okay. So maybe. It's wider, right?
Yeah, so the scale,
So if I
Remember,
make it
right?
0.5. Oh, right.
yeah,
It's
it's
actually wider.
scale's essentially like space in between.
Okay.
If you hover over it, it'll actually get explained. Just hover over scale, over the space right there. Just don't click on it and just put your mouse over top of the space there. Usually it does. How come? Let's see. Hatch edit. Oh, come on. Usually it's good at explaining.
So it's actually the space in between, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you make the outline? Do you do offsets or?
This one?
No, I mean like, do you make them all at once or you make them like line by line?
This was line by line.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
But it could be, like, that's the thing. They don't really give you the exact
Oh, right, like
dimension.
degree or
Yeah.
length and-
So it's more cosmetic, really.
Okay, for sure.
What's critical on this is pipe. Let's see, for 5, let's cause 3, would be 3.5 inches. Nominal OD. So this was a pipe piece. Yeah, that'll do. this would actually slot
把这个
in.
找出来，对不对？你看找多一点。
Where did oh man, hold on. Slot in just like that. Where's my midpoints? What the heck?
这个数字往里面少，这个
Midpoint, there you go.
那现在刚才我们
This would be in just like this,
说了，就是3
but back.
你是几寸了？然后就几寸了？3寸，那这个也就上面找这个管的厚度，厚度怎么走呢？它是2C和16mm。
And then it would be back 0.063.
So you're doing thickness?
It'd just be 0.063, 0.5.
4和16几寸呢？
我们还不算。
3寸。
哦，3
0.0是3
That's sort of the critical point.
外界是3
Oh, I messed up my drawing. That's right. Thickness of the wall has to do with
实际上你这个换一个
the schedule of this pipe. So class 3000 is equivalent to an S80 or extra heavy. So they look up schedule 80 pipe,
是这个圆的厚
and
度
you can figure out what the wall thickness is. Schedule 80, 3-inch, 0.3 of an inch
我从婴儿上面这个
thickness on each side. So if that was my A, you could kind of guess this part here, and you could offset it by 0.3.
Okay.
Kind of like that. And then draw my line up here. And I can do a fillet or 0.25. Kind of like that.
这个现在是按这个什么画，这是婴儿出来的，这个也是。这个刚才下面画的时候颜色
Kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Oops. That's it. Where's my angle? So, oh yeah, as you're doing a hatch, you can adjust it ahead of time. There you go. So we can actually learn a new command after you guys have done this part using this exact part. So there's something called region. Region allows you to figure out complicated sections and their properties. So for example, if I wanted to figure out the area of this section here, I can actually go ahead and create an area. See if it allows me to do this. Nope. I'm going to make a new line. Okay, I need to actually make a line. So it doesn't have to be endpoint to endpoint, so that you do have a closed area. You can't have any overlaps. But once you've created a region, So let me see if we can expand this. We'll see how well it works with a hatch, because it might get a little confused here. But you see there, it has created one region. Within that region, I can now type in mask prop, pick that region, hit enter or right click, and it gives you all that information. So of course there's more information than just the area. This actually can be helpful within your designs. You can actually find the centroid, your moments of inertia, because you can actually make this into the point where you can have your large full-size object and do more complex calculations. But I've also used this just to figure out area. So region creation requires you to close off an area. So if you guys want, you can actually close off each one of these areas by typing in region, picking the lines. Oh, I don't know if that'll let me. I'll have to draw a new line. Okay, and if it does that, just draw a new line, just like that. Region again. Because now it's point to point, right? That's a closed off section. I've now created a new region there. And then mask prop. And it lets you run that little script. So if you ever have to find out the area of find out the area of a section, this is how it would work.
这个管然后就。
现在模式的时候，先加上这个。
我想把这个德国人号码，
是这个号码叫我们这个像这个管然后就。
我妈这。
这个都是零星的。
韩国肯定出去了。看瑞典的，瑞典人在这个就是那个。他下次要在我下次下个月，韩国才。
就提出韩国的位置。就提出韩国有会怎么样？
他跟韩国说的时候，他就往那儿。
瑞典。
如果下次提韩国必须得大点声音，
必须大点声，对，赢球不行。
赢球他瑞典如果要是他是就是不想回他们多次次，多次次的可能要看这个问题。但是你因为一小组现在我们那个之前那个谁的那个班，大家能也比墨西哥后来肯定进4个加1个对标，然后就是他俩，如果他俩3个这两场都是对标，关键是这两天已经对。
像我说的，
对啊，
我很有可能出去。
是的，墨西哥肯定有。
上个月的冠军就是小组赛的出的。
As a challenge, do you think you guys can draw a right side view of this 45?
Right.
So, if you were to turn this, just like in like a 3-view drawing, right, like we've done in the past, can you imagine how to draw this if you were to turn it to the right, so you're looking into the pipe? Interesting. Give that a try. See if you can do it. You have the right information because you're just projecting, right? You're only projecting what you can visibly see. That'll be a fun kind of challenge here. And just to add to it, so right now you're looking at it in a cut view, right, this one is hatch lines. When you get to the right side view, make it so that it's as if you're looking on the outside. So there's no cut lines. If you want, you can have some hidden lines, but try to imagine it so that you're just looking at it. How would you see it?
这是一个方法，你找不到的这样的所有的观点地方做一个连接那个。
You'll have to draw some ellipses too, because they won't be round circles. Because it's at a 45-degree, right? So you're only going to be catching an angle of it. Oh yeah, just so you know what you guys are actually drawing, this is a socket weld 45-degree fitting. So what people actually use this for is they'll actually take 3-inch pipe and they'll actually slot this into this little opening here. And if you read the notes on what this calls out, oh, I might have closed mine. Anyways, it tells you all the instructions of how to use it. They say set it back 0.063 inches from the inside face, and they would actually use this to weld. So essentially this is really small pipe, right? It's only a 3/4 inch pipe. So it's a lot harder for guys to align in the shop. So this makes it easier. They slide it in, set their distances, and they can weld around. It makes for very clean quality welds. Just one thing you guys will have to worry about in your processes is that you guys are speccing the appropriate class of pipe for your operations. Essentially, if you were to under-spec it, it could blow up. So very important for those of you getting into that type of world that you are understanding pipe, because it'll be a very day in, day out part of your process, right? You're always just be transferring fluids, transferring steam, transferring something, and a lot of the connections are pipe. Pipe connections, whether they're welded, flanged, which is still welded, but a flange is welded out, or a threaded application. There are threaded flanges as well.
When they will looking with some chemical or chemical or oil company, they will know it.
Yeah, you guys need to start learning this type of stuff if you're going to continue on down that road of petroleum engineering. Of course, with that said, you could just hand this off to mechanical, tell them to spec the pipe for you. You just have to build up the process. So if you look at it, yeah, if you're looking at it this way, you're going to see that edge there. You're going to see that edge there, that edge, and that edge.
Okay, so that's from the base. So
You're not going to see any of this. It's all going to be hidden. So right now this is the cut piece of it, right? So if you want, you can make this all a hidden line. The only thing you would see is... Why are they hidden?
Yeah.
Because this is a
pipe cut in half. So essentially what you're seeing right now, if you imagine this is a 45-degree pipe, we've essentially cut it in half. That's why it's hatched, so you can see it. I said just to make it a little bit simpler, I just want you guys to imagine what would it look like this. Just like this cut, pick the center line and slice. 你看见的，就是看见把线切掉一半，把这中间切一刀，切完一刀，然后把这边拿开，看见是这个样子，明白吗？
我怎么觉得还是这下面为什么就看不到了？
看到什么东西？
这个下面 base 怎么就看不见了？
So here, I will show this to you.
这里为什么看不到这里？
看得见啊，你看这现在看的是里面，现在看到的是，很多人。
So,
不明白，你想一下，本来这里个平整，看的时候。
so guys, just to help you out, for those of you that are a little confused by the idea,
厚度我看不到，你怎么再切开，就所谓的厚度的出来。
this is what we're seeing right now. this is a 90, so it's not exactly what you have, but with a cut in half, this is what you're looking at, okay?
Yeah.
So if we're looking at it from the front face, we'll call, all the blue stuff is the hatch on that other drawing, right?
And you can see the thickness of the.
So side by side, you can kind of understand, right, what this drawing actually represents now. The hatch stuff is everything that is actually there, right? That's pipe. That's actually pipe that you just cut in half. It has a wall thickness. So what I'm saying is, if you can, I want you guys to draw this view. So if you're looking at the front face of the pipe, and don't worry about the inside things, right? Don't worry about actually showing me the hidden sections, right? You wouldn't see that. Just draw it as if it was a whole piece of pipe, and what would it look like looking at it head on? So what that would kind of look like is that. Because that's at a 45-degree angle. So it's going to look something like that. Does that make more sense?
If we want to draw it, how do we draw a...
Project all your lines, right? It's all about using what you have there, because all the lines you see are the exact same lines you would have seen over here, but projected over.
But if you're looking at a circle, but you turn like 45 degrees, it won't be a circle.
Exactly. So you there's still projected edges, right? So you take those projected edges, and then you create your ellipse. So this is where you have to kind of be able to imagine where your boundaries are, and then use all the different commands you have, right? You have arc, you have ellipse. Use whatever you need to make this work, and then how that. Makes sense?
Yeah. 这儿往这边看这个碗怎么画？
Does that help?
在这里，他刚才用的是什么可笑？
对吧？那不是把这一
All this stuff is going to get us ready for. I think I should have this lesson ready by next week. Hope by next week. We're going to learn how to draw 3D in 2D AutoCAD.
那是一个椭圆了，这样画。
ISO views, not true 3D. I should make that distinction. That's what I want to try to
我能
lead us
揉
towards.
菜的吗？就直接这个这样。
这里啊，这里
其实是。
啊，首先呢是，这个独立吧，安全能量。 现在这里一个圆，这里也是一个圆，对不对？那么如果你从右边往左看，什么样子的？你看到了是不是？ 这个高度跟这个高度，越往也更快了，越往也更快了。那你从右左看到这个圆柱就这么高，但是宽度还是跟圆一样的宽度对。然后呢，OK， 这个看你量出来是第3.536，是吧？那么3.536之后，你从右往左看，这个宽度还是3.536，但高度是不是可能看这两个是的 ，OK， 那么呢？
明白了。
是不是？如果这个是直，你会不会看到越远？但它有的不是直的，所以你看到的应该是，只是个宽度是一样的。这个时候你看的是一个椭圆，对吧？椭圆那么，这你看到应该是这样的。你看到应该是这样的东西，看到的，这也是一样。高度出来了，这俩还是一个椭圆。椭圆是个问里，不是，那个你看那个椭圆音乐，一开始的问里 ，end point 就是一个点，两个点，然后问你高度，高度这里。右往左看，看的是这样的，明白吗？这个方面。
有点难度。
选这个 X 轴，对，选这个，那么他就开始问你这个 end point， 这个轴的 end point， 第一点在这里，第二点在这里，我问你高，另外一个 end point， 另外随便点一个出来了，对不对？是这样，那么你对不对？
如果对于这个金球数、奇数数，
这个也是那么3.536，等于是这个圆这个椭圆，那个这一点和这一点是它的长边、短边已经出来了，对不对？这还是跟刚才一样，选这一点，这一点高度是在这里。 一个裂口，这个室外边缘，人到上面有点那个，它就误你点到这里，过来，如果竖的话呢，也是这样画呢，然后也是一个，是不是呢？变化也是，对不对？也是手前面选那个手。它问你中点，第一个按钮，第二个按钮，或者呢直接是选两个按钮，第三个按钮，选中两个按钮，另外一个按钮。
Over here, you shouldn't show up.
You wouldn't show it.
And also,
Those aren't the edges, or should just be smooth technically.
yeah, but another one that might show up is how about these? Like, it shouldn't show up.
The radius, you don't worry about the
In
radius.
the over here, there's a floater.
Yeah, you wouldn't show anything except for the hard edge, right? The edge.
So we just
Projection drawings are, they take a little bit of visual understanding. You have to imagine in your head how things look when you turn them.
Now this is okay because you don't need to show the hidden line.
No.
That's good.
Now, if you had to show hidden lines, that's the whole, it's a lot worse.
Yeah, it's too much work to show the hidden line.
Yeah.
But this one is enough for understand.
Yes.
Don't do too much. Waste time.
So this is what it looks like.
Pretty much. The only thing you have to remember, that part would also be here.
Yeah, it's
是
alright.
应该是没有看不见线的。
没有
You would add that curvature
这
right
个
there.
这个方向没有看。
Should we
这样看上去，它只是
fold
把
it
它
like
切开了，然后给那个那个不切开，所以你只看那个外形，把你
Part of it you would actually see. So yes, there's going to be hidden lines there,
正
but
常的把
this
中
will
间线打上去，
cut in a little bit.
画圆圆，
Right.
对，画一个东西，
Because I don't,
一个圆完成了，正规的，这个
if
正
you
规。
think about it, like,
泡底还是画
uh,
这个中心线就是画这样。
对，一般情况下，
I guess
这些文件。
I don't know that.
yeah, you don't know it for
Because
sure.
we don't have like
Yeah.
free will here, so
Actually, see if you can spin it. Can you spin that?
I don't think it has
Hit
been.
options. Say trust.
一般
This is a PDF.
Yep. It's a 3D
Oh,
PDF.
PDF. 反
It's a 3D
正圆的、
PDF.
椭圆的、
But
扁圆的，
this
有
is
很多
oh.
That's actually it.
But
So
if
you
I'm
might be able to
seeing-
catch. No, you can't. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember how far the cut in goes, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't see it. So there you go. That's exactly how it would look.
Okay.
变成那个 center。
But should I show the?
Yeah, you would show that bottom lip. Exactly that occurred. Yeah, share it with them.
So we're still on the right.
Just let
Oh
me
my
know.
god.
Yeah. Are you started? Are you working overtime now?
We're actually, okay, this is a long story. We have a new contract with Suncor.
Yeah, you're saying.
Yeah,
Is
right, so,
you're transferring.
no, that's in parallel. So we're having a project with Suncor. Like, normally,
Oh,
just like
okay.
we were expecting the project coming like April.
Okay.
So the company hired a lot of contractors for the for the project specifically, right? However, until now, we only received 2 samples from them. So like this project got delayed like 2 months already. And we were told we're gonna be started last Saturday. However, it didn't count until Tuesday, and we were told we're gonna be receiving 12 samples. However, only 2 is coming. So, like everyone stand by for 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's so expensive.
nothing comes. So we're actually doing overtime, you know. So because of the project, like my station, we're running 24/7. So we have like 5 shifts. Like people are doing overtime, doing like, you know, whatever you need to do for the project, but just didn't show up. So yeah, but we have to do that because in case it's just gonna be coming up maybe tomorrow.
You have to be there. Yeah. I know our stuff, like our product, one of the products we make and sell, is directly reliant on how the projects are going out there.
Right.
So when you went like dead for 2 weeks, nothing happened because the weather was so bad.
Oh, really?
So I'm wondering if they got delayed if it's weather too.
Okay. So, but I don't think that's our case. Yeah. So like weather
Somebody else.
shouldn't be that much because it's a big project, not like small ones. Where like it's for like 3 weeks the whole project gonna be, and even like the Suncor people, they don't know what's going on.
Crazy.
They're just not ready.
这里的中间线跟圆跟椭圆跟对称的一个中间线，然后哪是有个管啊、圆啊，都有对称的中间线，这样图形的也是完成的。把中间线画出来。机械方面的很多东西都是拿跟中线线有基准。中间的不是同样的，
这个
这个不是同样的。
这个不是，因为我是塞过去的，它不是。现在这个应该是在这里。
你想画什么？
我想画这个地方的椭圆，就是。
这样，你看这样，这样 现在一般你们讲首先标注，标注是不是在这个标注？标注，所有的标注都不会产生在这个 model 里面，所有的标注。
哦，你说都是在那个 paper。
都是在 paper 上是没在这标注。这个椭圆呢，我们应该要找出，这个交叉点。这边也是一样。等于是从右往左看，看到的是这个圆，这个圆呢，这个管是最高点跟最低点。
So how I would have approached this was start by projecting what you know, right? You want to find all the edges that make sense to be projected. So to get this ellipse here, I took the top and bottom, and then I drew that out. And then my boundaries would be in this section right here, right? It's going to be the width of this. Will still have to be the width of this. For that's done, that's good. Now for this one's a little bit trickier. I'm going to get the width of that right here. Move that over. Snap that. Oh, I don't have a snap. I'm going to go from that point middle to there. Move that. Oh, lost my point. Right there. Move this. So I can snap the midpoint of that. And then I can draw another ellipse. Like so. And it's just going to hit that bottom and center. So obviously this is not correct geometry. What am I actually going to see here? I'm going to see that inside lip, and then it's going to disappear, right? So I can just trim that like that. Now I've got the inside my pipe. Doesn't that look about right? Yeah? And then after that, I can do the top and bottom here. This one's kind of an approximation, I know, because this is a radius, so what are you really gonna see? I'm just gonna assume it at that point there. It'll be close enough for what we're trying to get at here. It's just for representation. So with that line, let's take that to that, move that, here like so. What am I going to see? I'm going to see the top. I'm going to see, you know what, actually let's just see if this works a little better. Let's just grab that edge right there where it would actually become right spot. Take that, do one more ellipse. Kind of like that. Oops, too much. How's that look? All right. Then I'd follow it through
大家看到的这一
with the solid lines.
这个，
就这一条线是这里有一个。
这里有一个，这里有一个。
Oh, come on. I lost all my snaps. Messing around with something earlier. There we go.
它的中线在这里，中线，这样，看，这里点一下，中线在这里。
And this was something that we kind of looked at. You may or may not see a seam there. Let's assume we do see a seam. We can throw that over here, like so. And top of that seam would be theoretically there. So with that,
这条线两头，这样是最简单的。
draw a line from there. Again, use that midpoint. End-to-end axis. Really, I just wanted to do that so I can grab that.
对，下半段才能。
So something like that. This is definitely like a stranger looking thing to try to model in 3D.
这不是已经画好了吗？
没有，刚才画了这里另外一个，
Or I mean 2D.
画了这里，这个这里还有一个，
Does that kind of make sense though?
这里 ，this one，这里还有一个没把这画成自己试一下。
Yeah.
为什么会有那个？
There's
good.
still, there's still one here, not only just this one.
这个不就是这个吗？
不是，它只是大小相同而已。No， 它只是大小相同。
Yeah, actually, technically there should be one more.
Yeah.
Should be one more.
This one that's copy.
Yeah. Should be that one there.
You want the same size as this one that's copy.
Yeah. So, trim that. Trim this. There we go. There we go. That's a little more accurate.
我看到后面这个大，比这个小，每个一排的还可以看到。这一个，这一个，可以看到一个，这个也看得到，这个也是看得到。所以最后一点，这个，还是相同，大小相同。
Yes, good. Your look doesn't look very
这个小
reassuring.
圈里面，这个小圈里面都是看得到。下面一段圈的，这个
You guys kind of understand the concept of creating your ellipses.
对，然后这里还有一个更小一点的，从这里开始，从这里。
It's not perfect.
它中间点是在这里，这边点，
In the sense that
就是它中间。
there's some stuff I'm kind of assuming a little bit, right?
中间高度。
What you're really seeing, right? But as long as you can try to find your hard edges in a projection like this, like very rarely are you projecting something at a 45 degree. This is really ugly. In the sense like it's strange to do. But that's the thing I wanted you guys to try to like
所以呢，
imagine a little bit in your heads how to start looking at really strange things. You might get stuck with this kind of stuff. Usually you wouldn't have to do this in 2D. You just grab a 3D program and project it. This is not what 2D is really meant for. So, but this is how 3D programs were based on the concepts of how 3Ds work. So it's important to understand these basics.
你找那个原产品。
Looking good. Yeah, something like that. Except they wouldn't hatch the top. You wouldn't hatch that because that's actually solid. You're only hatching things that are happy. So the other ones only hatch because they essentially cut the pipe right in half, so you can see the internals. And then do you remember how to rotate your hatch if you wanted to match the drawing? If you do a hatch edit, so right click, hatch edit. And then change your angle to 90. Oops. Do you remember how you do the hatch edit as well? Do you guys remember how? Yeah. So if you want to match exactly what the drawing showed, just change your hatch angle to 90. That's just in here, so right click, hatch edit, and here, 90.
它现在你看到了，这个小团里面，上面你能看得到，
外面那条垂线。
现在你看到这里有一个大垂线，还有
我觉得可以直接先
那这
画
个大的
弧线，
是的，这个是跟这个
然后
不一样的，
的话，
不是一样的。
只能这个点和这个点，
到最低点吗？
这个点和这个点，然后你的左右主要是实际上的那个，
对啊，我知道这个，我知道这个
你就再画一个这个方水线应该行。
下面这个色很对齐。
All right. So those of you that want another challenge have wrapped up that drawing. Again, no rush. You know, take your time to finish that up.
把下面的出掉。
This is going to be
小圆
the
小
spur gear drawing.
这个是看不到，对不对？
It's going to be saved under Nordex, and I will upload this for our online group.
第二个呢？
Nordex. Where is it?
对不对？圆心在这里，是吧？然后它的宽度是不是从这里到这里，从这里讲到这里讲，对不对？
Okay, that's uploaded now, so our online group can also download that PDF if you want to move on to something a little different.
从这个点，从这个点，从这个点，距离是相同的，明白吗 ？OK，这样可以明白。你看，端子。
I'm just wondering how to build this one.
That one's kind of fascinating. That was a bit of a guess on that one.
Okay.
The way I drew mine, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite right because of where it's catching,
Yeah.
but essentially that
This one is the bottom.
now I tried to use that as my hard edge, and then that's where it's kind of weird. Like technically, I should use that one. So for that one here, actually, I'm gonna redo mine. because yeah, it does look a little weird. So I would use this here,
This one should be the
project it over, and then it's essentially this one here. It'd be like the hard edge there, I guess, as the other projection. Kind of, right? Because what's that? No, see, that's not even right.
Yeah, no, I don't want.
That's not even right.
Maybe yeah, we are.
间隙很光滑的，可能可以不用画。
Or like the needle going here, like between those two lines.
Well,
It really depends.
let me see if this works. Perpendicular. Oops. What? Was that perpendicular? There we go. Okay, we'll see if this works. This might look really weird. But let's, if we assume that to be that. Part of it's strange just because it's a 45-degree elbow, so we're looking at something at a very strange angle. Okay, actually, that looks about right. No, that looks about right. Where's my trim line now? Trim. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, that actually matches up okay. So I just drew a perpendicular line from that point and imagine that to be like the caps, right? The two end caps. Yeah, that comes out okay. Rarely will you have to draw stuff at 45-degree angles. So whenever you guys feel like going on to the next one, here's my little gear. Sorry if there's anything missing as far as dimensions. I just dimensioned it real quick. If there's anything missing, I can always add it because I have the model. So give this one a try. Try to recreate all three views. Don't worry about the ISO view. We haven't gone there yet. But just these three views. This is going to be your trickiest part, is getting, oh, I hate underscore. There we go. This is going to be your probably most challenging part. Oh, I just realized I'm missing a dimension. Thought I had it on here. Okay. Yes, need the overall depth of this. That was missing. Okay, there's a little revision already. This is going to be we'll just call this Rev 1. There we go. Okay, try looking at Rev 1. That should help. The last one's missing something. Okay, I'll upload this for our online group as well. New one is up. Oh yeah, if you guys don't already have it, a good social network to actually get is LinkedIn. You guys, have you guys used LinkedIn in the past? Yeah, if you guys want, you can look me up on LinkedIn, and then as I try to keep finding like different references for you guys, I'll send it through LinkedIn to you guys.
What is true? What's true?
Oh, just my actual name is Roms. R-O-M-S. Yep. There should only be one of those. It should be.
Oh, like your
Yeah.
Snap the picture.
And yeah, I can start checking with Woody. He'll have more details on it, but we're working on trying to set up an internship program for those of you that are not working right now within your discipline. So we'll see how that goes. It's good to start developing your sort of professional presence on things like LinkedIn. It's definitely a little difficult within your first year, couple of years of working, or as you're still in school. But throughout that time, you still have obviously learned a lot of good things in school. Put that kind of experience down on your LinkedIn profile. It's not a perfect, social media. It's just like Facebook and all these other things, right? They all have their drawbacks, but it's good to at least to have that as an avenue. A lot of professionals out there do use it to stay in touch. I still use it to stay in touch with one of my old mentors from years ago, and he lives in California. I was still trying to message him so often.
Oh,
显示这里面是有的，但它没有上就没事的，可以想不出。
Lost all my dimensions. I'll throw another one up. Just throw the live one on. Okay, that should also be. You guys will also need this one here. .28. And you know, let's display this as diameter. So 0.57 for that one. Let's see, is there anything else you guys are missing? 0.57. Okay, I think that should be good now. Alright, Rev 2. Start?
No, I actually started doing this. Like, kind of want to know what is the distance, like, what is the outer, the most outer one?
The most outer one is this one here, 0.79.
Oh, right. That's the diameter.
That's the absolute most outer tip, but these are rounded. That's why it's R 3.9. Or 0.39. Detail view, 0.39. Those are slightly radiused. So yeah, you can start by drawing the full exterior at 0.79, but just realize that these little teeth themselves are radius on top. So there's just a slight taper.
Yeah. So actually, you mean like, okay, so this is the 0.391. I mean like the 0.39. That's what it's called.
So
So
let me hold on. Let me save this. Get out of this one. Okay, start new drawing. So what this means is my diameter 0.57
yeah,
is my absolutely outside, right?
yeah.
And then 0.39 is my inside. But then
The outer.
let's say I just do a radius 0.39. That's what it's gonna look like, because that's the radius of my tooth. So after after that, I have to do 2 radii of 0.24, and was I able to detail it? You'd need one more thing here. Yeah. There are gear standards, but just so that you guys can do it a little bit easier here, I will. What should I draw here? Let's give it to you guys, just so you have it, or else it's gonna get really complicated really quick. I don't want this to be too crazy of a project to end the day off, so let's just give you that. So you have that now. What else do you guys need? Okay, that should be good. And then I guess I give. Oh yeah, I did give it to you here. Okay, 0.8. 0.08. I missed it. Okay, that one did give it to you. It's good. Don't need it then. So, jump back to the drawing. Where's my drawing? So, 0.08, maximum. That's my maximum now, and then I'm going to draw a radius 0.24. Needs to be a tangent to. I can't do that tangency. Just drop here for now. End like that, but then this needs to match up to 0.57, my 0.57 diameter. So another circle. Oh, maybe this is it. Oh, I'm trying this on the wrong spot. The one that's not working. So, there's my Mickey Mouse. 0.7. So it needs to terminate there. So essentially, that's too steep. Needs to match 0.08. A few more significant digits. I should have probably picked a bigger gear for you guys. It wouldn't be so small. Okay. So it's got a little bit trickier. Need to get more significant digits. There weren't enough. I rounded off a little too high. You guys to actually do this quite properly. So sorry, Rev 3. Alright, Rev 3 guys, online. Take a look at that one. That one will take care of a lot of stuff that might be getting a little bit weird here. So, with that said, drawing. Why that matters is 0.08085 is my absolute outside edges, right? That's what I'm going to see. If I was just to look straight down the gear, that's the maximum of the radius of that spur. Why you need to know this, the 0.6047, you need to understand where to terminate your circle, because it needs to clip that point on both sides. So if I go back to my AutoCAD drawing, redo that a little bit. Just going to draw just a general construction line. I need this distance, 0.7647. Actually, this needs to match. Excuse me. Of that needs to fit in here. I don't want to do too much math here, so I'm just going to do this. Drop that in like that. That will give me my points where I need to contact. I can trim these away, and now I can match my circle to terminate there, while still also hitting the other contact points, which were right here, 0.08085. Let's go. Let's try this one more time. Circle TDR. That's my Rev 3. Yeah. 0.24. So this needs to be tangent to that, and needs to touch this. Oh great, circle does not exist.
You need to get a picked circle diameter, otherwise
Yeah.
if you don't have the picked circle, you cannot draw here.
I'm trying to remember how to do this in 2D. Okay, I can do this in 3D. I can create coincidences and make it work, but I forget how to do it in this without coincidences. Oh.
The paint circle or the gears width. And print width and can finish the drawing.
Know those 2 points. Where is the center? Okay, we're just gonna have to arc this. So make things a little bit easier. Okay, so a few more digs. Okay, so there we go. I'm just gonna do it this way. It's the easier way. We're just gonna arc it and make sure it hits all 3 points here. So 0.05312 is the top arc. 312. All right. Start and radius. So if we go start and radius is 0.24. There you go. Done. There's a way to use circle to do it. It's just it's so much more complex. So that should solve a few geometry headaches. That will make it much easier for you guys. Okay, so Rev 4. Yeah, I don't want this to be like a crazy project, so.
We have the. Do we have the picked circle? No.
No, I'm just doing it so it's arc.
Get a pit circle. If you get the pit circle from here,
Mm-hmm.
then the width of the gear is the intersection point. Is
Yeah.
Is for this radius.
The other spur gear, yeah.
For this one.
Contacting that one, yeah.
Here's the width of the gear, and this the pit circle.
When you contact
The
it.
pit circle, that's the point for this one. If you don't have the pit circle, you cannot finish this one.
Yeah. Well, they should have enough now to do this. Now,
Because the gear is standard, so the manufacturer only have they get the module.
okay, so that's how to draw that part. Oh, not a good break point. Oh, I'm coming and breaking it there. Yeah.
Also, we're doing the manufacturer
Yeah.
need this.
The modulus of inertia?
Yeah. And modulus, the pit circle, and then they can finish they can finish
Shouldn't need the modulus though. The modulus is for inertia.
and they need the pit circle. And how many gears? That's it.
So what Ivan was talking about is there are calculations for spur gears. I didn't want you guys to go down that road. There's actually ways to calculate all this stuff. If you're ever interested, just Google it, look up calculations for spur gears. So that's what you're drawing right now. And they will actually give you this. Like this, the calculations for the spur gear, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you need to have that.
Yeah.
You need to have that. E1
Mhm.
is the pit circle.
Yeah, I know. I don't want them to go down that road. It's a lot of work.
Thickness of the key, and they can finish because the manufacturer only need pit circle, the module, and they have everything there.
Yeah. That's like a whole class, just spending time on gears.
Yes.
You guys don't need to do that. If you're interested in it, go take mechanical.
So, and this, the ladies, this one,
Mhm.
here's the center here.
Yeah.
This is the center. Draw this one and with another side.
Yeah, that's getting into a lot more geometry and understanding of like contact for gears. Yeah. Do you guys want to go down that road? Or just here to learn AutoCAD right now. So that's the start of my gear, and hopefully that's what you guys have. I should be able to do everything else. So our online group, one more revision coming your way. Sorry for all the revisions, guys. Back to the pipe. Does that kind of make sense what I was doing, or are they going through that a little too quick?
Yeah, that seems okay, but usually like a drawing for this will give you like a has like a standard, right?
There is a standard, except that's the thing. I'll show you what the standard was. It's based off a bunch of calculations. That's why I didn't want to like go through it. Is when it comes to gear design, there's gear tables, and you need all of this to calculate how to design out your gear. And I just don't want to go down that road because we just want to practice drafting. That's the main thing. We're just trying to practice drafting. So didn't want to go too deep onto that kind of stuff. But yes, you can actually calc everything so that you wouldn't need a drawing like this to draw in. Yeah. Yeah, that's here, right? A lot of, like, that's the thing, a lot of stuff out there is already being made. Like, you're not trying to reinvent the wheel when you get into drafting. You're just trying to lay out things correctly, and yes, sometimes make something to adapt to something else or work with something existing. That's a lot of stuff out there. Manufacturing is very, very, very rare from scratch these days. So you should be developing from something. Especially in Alberta, where a lot of our products are still very oil and gas related, for better or for worse. Our economy is very tied to it. So a lot of manufacturing is still tied to motors and gears and pumps and things that are out there already. And we're just trying to either make something new to attach to it or modify those parts to better serve what we need. So that's the biggest thing, like AutoCAD is a tool, right? It's just learning how to use it in different ways.
How long is there back to
Just hold control. Or I can just mirror. Either way, we'll forget. rest your eyes a little bit.
但是我一定要这么control，我要这样很漂亮。这边它自动就这样，然后一输入就可以算。但我知道没有可以做，但是
那你刚才是这样子把它倒过来，你得从这边弄过来，把它倒过来，别在哪里？对，倒过来。对，右面。
It should be on the same line though. The start and the end should be 2 different lines. This one's going to be 0.07647. And the start of it should be 0.5302. And then you should end up with an outside radius of 0.8085.
what is that?
Like if you were looking straight down at it, you're going to see that edge here to here. That's 0.80.
So it's like from here, right?
Yeah, depending which line, I'm not too sure which line those ones are, but yeah, like there should be a start and finish line. So your start line would be 0.5302. Your finish would be that, and then your radius at 0.24 will have it contact at 0.08085. And then just punch in your radius.
我给它是。
Now, if you took if you drew 2 construction lines, it should be just contact on the outside. Sorry. So, to start that, you want to set up the construction lines at 0.5, 0.05. Okay, good. Then you got a little bit
我知道
0.07.
他们俩之间是0.5302，
And then I'm going to draw
我是要
the
copy 它，对吧？
start and radius.
他们俩之间的距离是
You're going to find the
0.5302，然后
intersection at the
呢，
very top.
他让我选
Yeah,
base
that one.
point，
And then you're
随
going
便
to
写
find
一
the
个
intersection
我
of
选
the
base
boss.
point， 好，
Then
这
you're
个
going
距
to
离是
draw
0.5302，
随便写两个，时间去回测。好了。
为什么你就可以，我就可以？那然后我现在就是要把他们俩挪到这个地方来，我是要用 midpoint，我是比如说用 midpoint，
首先呢，你这个画法已经错了。首先你画法已经错了，你本来应该直接这里画，不要
这是我为什么挪过去呢？
挪过去，挪过去你必须找一个终点，你必须找一个。
哎，我感觉我画的这个就是0.53样格，这是0.53。
你首先让我看一下，
我画的这个圆是0.79的，这个是0.57的。
这样吧，是你那个
0.57和0.76。
0.79，然后呢，0.67，对不对？0.79和0.67这种0.79 and
不是
0.67。
这个吧，0.57吧。
OK，0.57。C。
0.79，0.7，
对，那么姐，你在这里画就好。 这个是根源，这个最底那个，这是个磁的源，对不对？然后呢，它的0.53秒
哦
是
0.053
OK， 那么很简单，就 P，OK， 对不对
0.053这样子。你写的53123，你刚刚那个 radius 写的0.53123。531，对。
那么你现在就找这个宽度这个数，我只找个点而已，对不对？
哎，你不用，这上面这是不是直线？这是两个 curve，一个 curve。
这两个点已经出来了，你可以在这打两个点都可以。对。这个好了，还有个上对不对？这是有两个点在这里，那我管它对不对？然后呢，这是0.7647，对不对？一样啊。
那就画一个0.0767。
不对，还是一样。
画两个点。
是的。
那画点是用什么画的？对。画点怎么画？画点怎么画
？PO。对。可以可以。
然后再画圆嘛，对吧？再用焦点画圆，是不是？
等于现在这个点已经出来了，对不对？然后呢
radius 是0.24。
现在画这个0.8是那个
圆心进来。
原先我们现在按照它原先本来我们有个分度圆，分度圆可以找出来，现在我没有分度圆，那就按照刚才那个方法，随便就好了，就画两个圆弧，对不对？
你就随便画两对圆弧。不是，我说不能。
Not working. It should just be a start and radius. That's extending past. Which arc are you using? I just use the start end arc. This one here. Start end radius arc.
Start radius arc.
Start.
Except I have to actually have to pick it.
This one.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop down start end radius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, no. Start end radius.
Start and
What?
Start
radius.
and
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
And then 24.
Radius.
Here you go. And then eyes mirroring. Yep. Just like that.
然后就画好了，
嗯
然后可以用
It's
array
the, yeah, it's early.
Except you can wait to array it because you want to clean up this bottom one too. Break that up too.
因为你把这个 trim 掉，上面
Yeah, before you array. Yeah, now array it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14.
不是那个，
对，哦，我说你这你的那个是 duration 是吗？
用多了不行，
它可以不用，
不是
为啥？
这样。下面这个
Oh, this is annoying though. Trimming it, it's gonna be a mess.
只是说
Yeah, that's one bad thing. Okay, actually trim that too, and then array all of this together. So edit the source. Add this to.
polar 是什么？
几种
我刚刚按的哪一个选择？
对，再来一个，选择，
polar
这几种，它问你那个点，它问你这个以哪个点为圆心旋转，选这个点，然后呢，
哦，你要一下
按下，它就像
哦
它的
items
items，时间的时速，
那我觉得 path 应该也可以。
There you go. So you can array it still. You just have to. This is where it gets a little weird. You break that, trim, and then you add it back to your polar. So there's a couple ways to do it. So if I go back, you had this, right? So what you can do is you can draw. Trim it there. So you trim away everything. So you're stuck with just that little. Oh wait, I gotta go back one more. Sorry. There. So we don't know where that's gonna be yet. So you have to go forward. Of course, I can't go forward. Array. Go polar. Center point of my array right there. Items were 14.
它是这样看，
Exit, and then
很快，
trim it
现
here.
在是，
So trim it here.
现在看看。
Delete that.
14，好了，因为你花时间，如果出来很多的时候，你不想花时间。
Cut that. Edit your source, and then drop in your piece for arraying. Move this back down. So it's like that. Am I in my array still? No. So source. Paste this back into the array.
这样的，就不用花时间一个一个去处理。
And then now you have that piece back in there. Then save the array again. Then try to circle the inside. 0.39. Oops, diameter 0.39. There we go. Just remember to switch it to diameter.
3个圈儿这个diameter 上。
太低。
我现在知道，它这个这种radius 是0.75，然后现在你找到一个。
然后你先看看这个。
I forgot there's a way to actually make diameter default, but it's usually radius.
但是0.39是什么东西？
Diameter default AutoCAD.
那这个应该是这一圈吗？0.667对，不应该是这一圈的长，这个 radius。
You have to change the code. That's the code right here. You have to go in and actually like modify something
Oh,
if you want diameter to be default.
okay.
So
I know.
这个留在就是后面，但这个是不重要的。
哦，是后面那个词。
So this was a little different than the last Saturday. We already had like that big long project, right? Building that whole building. Did you guys like having it a little different today? Or would you guys would prefer the big project again?
是多少？
Both are good? A little bit of both. Last time project, this time not? Okay.
你再换一个。
This is our last seminar, right? The project.
Yeah, last like Saturday, full day. Yeah.
对不对？
The rest are just gonna be our standard Monday, Wednesdays.
换条线上。
Yep.
这个就是我上面画的，上面是对的，然后就可以前面还可以。
太小了，或者给你看看。
或者是因为它的 radius 很大，所以说很小，它其实正常是对的。
我看一下。OK。那你画了，我看那个7。0.653也对不对？ 0.767，对不对？为了不影响你看那个，会把这些原理删除掉。这个点，这个对这个点就是没画那个原物。
Feels like it got really warm in here. I feel like they turned off the AC. Yeah. Edit that array though. So yeah, just click on that, and you get the option to edit it, right? So what you're gonna do, because this isn't quite like ref edit where you can bring in objects into it and cheat it. So I'm gonna cut that piece out. So pick that piece. Sorry, deselect the array for a second. Yeah, and just pick that little piece. Go Control X, cut it, and then now edit that array. So edit source. Yeah, and then paste it. Just anywhere is fine. And then zoom out. Go be up and up there. Yeah. Move it back into the right spot. So M, just M move. Yeah, and then grab the left edge. Move it down to the bottom there. Oh, your ortho's on. Turn off your ortho. Check look. And then snap it in. There you go. Oh, I think you exited out of your array. So, oh, cut it again. Edit the array. Oh, sorry, pick that, so pick it again. Pick that array, yep. And then say, okay, now you can paste. There you go. Now paste it. Anywhere's good. Yeah, just dump it down. Okay, and move it in. Just hit M. There you go. Good. And then save. Yes. if you guys look really close, there is a curvature because of where the hole lands. It technically is cutting into part of the curve, but don't worry about it. Don't get that technical or detailed on the drawing.
可以这样做，对不对？
You can if you want, but you don't have to. Because the way to do it is you project the hole up here,
这样，还是这样。
down here, and then you figure out, just like the last example on the elbow, you figure out your ellipse based off where the contact point should be.
整体对不对？
So you can go that far if you want, but
这样下来，
not necessary for what we're doing.
这样。
But definitely looks really good if you do it.
产生了一个这样的这样的角度两线，对不对？然后呢，看这个电脑嘛，看一下这个，然后你随便拿个形式。
Should actually this one to be a straight line instead of the.
That's what I was actually just talking about. So
Oh.
you can make it straight lined,
Yeah.
or if you want to be really detailed, what you would do is you take this drawing, you make your center, or sorry, make your hole at 0.14.
Yeah.
You project those lines down here, and you'll know exactly where that cuts away. So from there, you would know where to create your ellipse, because it's just like the elbow design,
Yeah.
where then you would project that over to here, and then draw the ellipse.
Okay.
But it's okay if you don't do it.
But what is it? That's two line here.
That's over here. That's the center distance. Total
Oh,
four.
right, right. 0.14.
Yeah.
0.14.
Or it's 0.14.
Here to here.
0.14, not 0. Oh yeah, sorry, 0.14. Yeah. You can, oh yeah, just so you guys know, when you're entering stuff in AutoCAD, if it is 0 point something, you can just enter 0.1 or point something. You can save the 0. Doesn't save you a lot of time, but you can. Pretty sad they lost.
Yeah, but I know.
I don't really watch too much. My friends do though. I have some friends that are big basketball fans.
Like, we only have the ball. I didn't.
Yeah. He's the only one. He broke his finger, or broke his head because he got mad. I don't watch football or basketball, but I saw that at least. I was like, ooh.
I don't like war.
No?
For sure. I don't like Kevin Durant.
Oh. You don't like Steph Curry?
Not really. Like for this season, it was like okay. Like I mean, he didn't perform very well, honestly. And I think he probably gonna be even sad because this is like the third time he missed out the final MVP. He didn't get the final MVP.
Again?
Yeah. He was like probably even more sad than LeBron. I think.
Even though he won the championship. Oh.
It's scary.
Who won? Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
No.
That's MVP.
Yeah. How angry can you be? Your team won.
Yeah.
He's making millions of dollars.
But you're actually training so hard. You know, like since like LeBron joined the NBA,
As long as you understand the concept. Oh, did you know that the start and end are different? They're not in line, right? You know that part? It almost looks like they're in line. And might be too small. It should be a little bit bigger here. Looks like a steering wheel of the ships. As long as you understand the concept, that's the key thing. Understand the concept, and then actually good practice. Find out where the mistake is. Kind of go back, check. Oh, in case you guys are wondering what this means on the drawing, I just called it as a 0.12 through, but actually, as you can see, there's little dotted lines around. What this is actually meant for a set screw. So that's actually threaded. It doesn't call it out as that, which is fine. Just for simplicity's sake, just a hole. But there's actually meant to be threads there. And you would actually take a set screw, and a set screw looks like this. Looks a little bit something like this. And with that set screw, it actually tightens down onto a shaft. So this gear would sit on just a long shaft. You'd set the actual gear onto it by using that set screw. And then as it spins, it won't slip. And if you think about it, this is a very small gear. The OD of it is what do we call this out at? 0.79 of an inch. So that's like about this big, right? So very small gear. So the set screw, and for how big the gear is fine because you would not be turning with very much force, not much torque. Because your set screw is actually smaller than 1/8 of an inch, so it's quite small. Actually, it is 1/8 of an inch, exactly. 0.12.
Between two, right? I cannot select. It's a move,
Yeah,
right?
something so.
Or can I do select?
Right click.
Shift, right?
No, before that, is you have to get out of the selection first. Because right now you're in the.
Right click.
Now you can do it, yeah.
Shift. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're,
you choose
you're
like in between.
yeah, you're just one step ahead. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to here. Because I think this is a dash line. And this is a solid line.
Yes, so that's what I was saying before. So that's actually a thread.
Right.
Yeah.
But do I need to draw it?
It's okay. You don't need to. I didn't call it out. I only called out the 0.12. If you did want to,
Because I.
be a 0.125 inch set screw It's not so much distance between. I should have to get the dimension for that set screw. Screw size. It should be an 8.1. Body diameter. Yeah, it should be 1/8 of an inch. So it'd be 0.125. That would work.
Okay. So just zip it.
Yeah. This is all I guys understand what the dashed lines stand for. So if you see it on a drawing, that's always going to be a screw, like a thread column. Because it should not actually say 0.12512. What it should actually be saying is, because this is like just a solid body. See, that's a tapped hole. So that tapped hole, see, I don't have it. I don't have the right column. But what it really is in real life, if I was to make this again, feature. Let's see, suppress that for a second. Oh, they want cosmetic thread. 365. Clearances. 3M. Come on. 0.1214. Let's grab it. Not working right now. Yeah, it doesn't work that well right now with this monitor.
后面那个把上面的把沿的全切掉，后面的那一层，把这一块把它切掉。所以呢，你画的那个留出来，然后后面那个层线对，这叫它留出来，这样。你看它这里出现一个后面整个线，这边没有，只是到这里来。
It's being weird right now, but it should call whole color out. It should look something like that. So it gives you the size, the depth, if it has a chamfer, things like that. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's all we're teaching today, but you guys can feel free to hang out for a bit and keep practicing. There's no rush for you guys to have to leave. If you guys have any questions, we're going to be around for a little bit longer. If not, I hope you guys enjoyed and got a little bit good practice, learned a little more.